will be leaving Full Circle, my podcast that I co-host with Lexi Brown on iHeartRadio. All of the news that has come out, I want you guys to know, when I saw the news about Megan and Clay, I was shocked. I made 7 billion videos about it. List to see Lexi's name in my comments. Obviously, I reached out to her and was like, girl, why am I getting these comments? And she told me, girl, it's not me. And so obviously I responded to a comment I got from you guys, or 2 comments I got from you guys saying, I know her personally, it's not her. Me and Lexi have had an amazing working relationship doing our podcast together once a week, but I am in no way, shape, or form qualified to speak on her personal life, okay? I was shocked to see as many people that were telling me they were side-eyeing me and that, you know, I was a weirdo for posting about the situation, but I need you guys to understand I am a normal person, just like the rest of you. I don't know Megan. I don't know, I feel like I know her because I'm her fan, but that's so parasocial. Oh, anyways, but I love Megan, but I don't know her and I don't know Clay. And all I knew was that Megan posted that the man cheated on her. And I think that shit is wrong. I think cheating is wrong. I don't condone infidelity. Are you joking? Like, no. And I am no way involved in that situation at all and had no knowledge that any of this would happen.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. If you're new here, make sure you hit that like button before we get into this, because today I'm revisiting a story I honestly wasn't planning to touch again. But then a video landed in my feed and I couldn't ignore it. The video is from someone named Mariah, and if the name doesn't ring a bell, I actually covered her back in 2021. At the time, she publicly spoke out in defense of Maria Taylor after Rachel Nichols was caught on a leaked audio clip making some shady comments. Nobody asked Mariah to step in, but she did. And considering her father is Jalen Rose, who works in sports media and had crossed paths with many of the same people, it made sense that she felt some kind of way about it. Even back then, I remember thinking, this is someone who has strong opinions and isn't afraid to voice them, even when it might not be the right moment. Fast forward to now, and people were starting to move on from the Megan Thee Stallion and Kehlani Thompson situation, until Mariah decided to insert herself into the conversation. And the reason she got pulled in is that she co-hosts a weekly podcast with Lexi Brown through iHeart Sports' women's division. So when everything blew up around Lexi, suddenly Mariah found herself in the crossfire too. She posted a video addressing the situation, and she opened it speaking directly to the hot girls, which tells you everything you need to know about where her loyalties lie. She's clearly a big Megan Thee Stallion supporter. There's even an Atlanta Falcons jersey hanging in the background with Hottie on it. She's not hiding which side she's on. Now, in her video, she announced she was stepping away from the podcast, and her stated reason, that people were being homophobic and xenophobic toward her. But here's my honest take. Just say you picked a side, because that's what this looks like. It looks like she spoke to Lexi, had her doubts, and didn't want the backlash that comes with standing next to someone this many people are questioning right now. She didn't want the smoke from Megan's fan base, plain and simple. And the irony is, by most accounts, the online criticism she received wasn't even that intense. There were some trolls, sure, but nothing that warranted a full exit from the show. Whatever happened to standing by your people when things get uncomfortable? If the sisterhood and girl code mean anything, this was the moment to show it. Instead, when it got hard, she walked, and that decision has made things look even worse for Lexi. Because here's what people keep coming back to. Klay Thompson still hasn't said a word, not one statement. And for Lexi, who has denied everything, that silence from him is damaging. If someone is falsely being connected to you and you know it isn't true, why wouldn't you say so? That silence speaks volumes, and I think Mariah saw it too. She watched Clay stay quiet, put 2 and 2 together in her head, and decided she didn't want to be standing in that fallout. Let's also talk about the unfollow situation, because it matters. Clay unfollowed Lexi, Lexi unfollowed Clay. That's not random. You don't unfollow someone on social media out of nowhere, especially when there's already a public story swirling around connecting you to them. That move adds context. And while I was looking into this, I came across some posts on X where someone had tagged Mariah in photos that allegedly show Lexi Brown sitting near a gym wall while Klay Thompson was working out. Now, I can't verify whether those photos are authentic, but people in the comments were saying the images could be as far back as 2021 or 2022, suggesting this may have been an on and off situation for years. I'm not stating that as fact. I'm saying that's what's being discussed out there. What I will say is this: Klay Thompson clearly isn't losing sleep over any of it. He's an NBA player. He knows this won't affect his career. Athlete gossip fades, new stories come along, he'll move on, and the women caught in the middle of this are left to deal with the public fallout while he says absolutely nothing. We saw how his situation with Megan ended. That was always going to run its course, and this follows the same pattern. Now, one more thing worth mentioning. Jalen Rose apparently put out a tweet in late April or May talking about how people should stay out of the Megan and Klay situation entirely. A lot of people assumed he was indirectly speaking to his own daughter, given the timing. Make of that what you will. At the end of the day, Mariah didn't have to say anything publicly. She could have quietly told her audience she talked to Lexi, Lexi denied the allegations, and she was leaving it there. That's it. Clean, simple, done. Instead, the video, the dramatic exit, the homophobia and xenophobia claims, all of it just added fuel to a fire she didn't need to be standing next to. And now the question people keep raising is a fair one. Why is it that when female friendships fall apart in situations like this, it gets overlooked, but when men are even loosely connected to drama, they get labeled as the source of all the damage? That double standard is worth paying attention to, especially when, in this case, the person who actually went quiet and let two women take the heat is the man nobody seems to be pushing for answers. That's where we are with this story. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the follow-up when this develops further. And nobody, I mean genuinely nobody, brought the LGBTQ community into this conversation. There's nothing in this story that involves them at all. But this is a pattern some people fall into, pulling in groups from completely unrelated spaces to add weight to a situation that simply doesn't call for it. The gay community has absolutely nothing to do with Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson. Nothing. So why mention them at all? And if we're talking about what random trolls say in comment sections, why are you amplifying that? Why give that kind of noise a platform? The bottom line is, Mariah inserted herself into a situation she didn't need to touch, and by making that video, she didn't come across as a neutral party caught in the crossfire. She came across as someone quietly throwing Lexi Brown under the bus, then stepping back and dusting off her hands. I don't care how it's framed or softened, that's what it looks like. She quit a podcast they built together because she didn't want friction with a fan base that honestly isn't even doing much for Megan's actual career. Think about it. These are not fans who are buying albums, streaming records, or filling arenas. Megan has been leaning into Broadway and other ventures lately, and part of that shift reflects what her online support actually translates to in the real world. The loudest voices in her corner are mostly just that, loud online. They're not the foundation of a touring career or a platinum run. It's a social media presence. And Mariah is folding under pressure from people who aren't even that influential beyond a timeline. Megan has become a symbol for a certain crowd, and because of that, people rally around her regardless of the specifics of any given situation. That loyalty isn't really about her music or her artistry at this point, it's ideological. And when someone plants their flag that visibly in a conflict like this one, it tells you where their head is, even if they never say it out loud. And that's the thing. Mariah didn't have to quit. She could have addressed the situation calmly, said she spoke to Lexi, Lexi denied the allegations, and she was chosen to stay out of it from that point forward. Done. Clean. No drama. Instead, she made a whole video, signaled exactly which side she was standing on, and then exited, which only reignited a story that was already starting to fade from people's attention. By inserting herself the way she did, she pulled new people into a conversation that was winding down on its own. And I want to be clear, I don't know Mariah personally. I have nothing against her, and I have nothing against Jalen Rose. This isn't personal. But watching Lexi Brown get left out to dry like this is frustrating because it's becoming obvious that nobody with actual influence in this situation is going out of their way to protect her. Klay Thompson isn't saying a word, and Megan, well, her track record when it comes to publicly supporting other women speaks for itself. Look around her circle and ask yourself who her close female friendships are with. It's a fair question. What bothers me most is watching people treat Megan like she's a figure who can do no wrong, this almost unconditional parasocial loyalty, where her fans genuinely believe they have a personal stake in defending her at all times on every topic against everyone. That dynamic is strange, and it's worth calling out. She is not your team captain. She's a celebrity who doesn't know you exist.